What if everything you know about wealth is wrong? Not just the money in your bank account, but the mindset, the habits, and the silent choices that shape your entire financial destiny. While the world screams about hustle and hacks, the ancient Stoics whisper a timeless truth. Wealth is not something you chase. It's something you cultivate from within. In this video, we're going to uncover how Stoic principles, yes, the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, can guide you to manifest not just material riches, but the kind of wealth that lasts, liberates, and leads. Whether you're struggling to get out of debt, trying to grow your business, or just seeking peace around money, these Stoic pillars will change how you think, feel, and act toward wealth forever. Number 1. Focus on action. At the heart of Stoic philosophy lies a truth so simple, it's often overlooked in our age of complexity. The only thing fully within your control is your will, your ability to choose how you think, how you act, and how you respond. The Stoics called this power Prohairesis, and they treated it as sacred. In fact, to them, you are your Prohairesis. Everything else, your wealth, reputation, health, possessions, is external and ultimately not yours to command. This idea is deeply liberating, especially in the context of manifesting wealth, because once you understand that the quality of your life is determined not by outcomes, but by your relationship with choice, everything changes. You stop waiting. You stop blaming. You stop chasing things you don't control, and you begin to build deliberately, decisively, from the inside out. Wealth, in the Stoic sense, is not something granted by luck or inherited by chance. It is a byproduct of right action, taken over time, grounded in reason and discipline. That's the paradox. The less you obsess over results, the more powerful your results become. Why? Because your attention shifts from fantasy to what really matters, the present moment and the choices it demands of you. Think of it this way. Every day you are offered 1,000 micro-decisions. You decide whether to sleep in or wake up early, whether to buy that thing you don't need or save the money, whether to speak up in a meeting or remain silent, whether to invest your energy into meaningful work or waste it on distractions. These decisions may seem small, but they shape your future more than any stock market or crypto trend ever will. Marcus Aurelius, a man who ruled the most powerful empire on earth, still reminded himself each day that all he truly possessed was his ability to choose rightly. Imagine that. An emperor who believed the only true wealth was inner discipline. This is the Stoic way. If you want to manifest wealth, begin not with your environment, but with your mindset. Begin not with a 5-year plan, but with the next right action. And it's not easy. You'll be tempted constantly by things outside your control. The promise of fast money, the fear of missing out, the anxiety of competition. But Stoicism trains you to come back to the core, to the stable ground beneath all the noise, your will, your Prohairesis. From there, everything becomes clearer. You stop asking, how do I get rich, and start asking, what is the wisest decision I can make today, in this moment? Maybe it's studying a skill, even if no one's watching. Maybe it's saying no to an impulse purchase. Maybe it's having the courage to take the first step in a long, uncertain journey. None of these things guarantee wealth. But taken together, with consistency, clarity, and calm, they cultivate it. Because wealth is not a treasure you stumble upon. It's a character you build, and the blueprint begins with your ability to act intentionally, stoically, without attachment to results. That's Prohairesis, and that's where true manifestation begins. Number 2, practice diligence. If Prohairesis is the root, the power to choose, then Industria, or diligence, is the steady watering of that root every single day. In Stoicism, diligence isn't just about working hard. It's about working with intention, with endurance, and most importantly, with virtue. To the Stoics, a lazy person isn't just inefficient. They are living out of alignment with nature, which is always in motion, always purposeful. Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." And isn't that the tragedy of modern life? We scroll endlessly, chase distractions and call it research. We dream of financial freedom but can't sit still long enough to build anything real. We pray for success but resist the monotony required to earn it. But the Stoics remind us, there is no progress without repetition, no growth without grind. True wealth, lasting, meaningful, and grounded, is the result of accumulated effort over time. It is not the product of occasional brilliance, but of consistent diligence. It's waking up early even when you don't feel like it. It's studying when there's no exam. It's staying the extra hour to improve your work, not because someone is watching, but because you know excellence is a habit. Diligence means showing up without needing motivation. Because Stoics don't rely on mood, they rely on principle. They don't ask, "Do I feel like it?" They ask, "Is this the right thing to do?" And in this way, they become unstoppable. Not because they're the smartest, fastest, or luckiest, but because they are the most consistent. Consider this. The marketplace rewards rare skill. But skill doesn't come from inspiration. It comes from industrious repetition. Even the most profitable business ideas are worthless without execution. Even the most talented creators are forgotten without output. What turns potential into wealth is action repeated with patience. In a world addicted to speed and novelty, diligence is a rebellion. And here's something the Stoics understood that modern hustle culture often misses. Diligence is not about burnout. It's about discipline with balance. The Stoics believed in harmony, effort that is sustainable, rooted in your nature and not driven by ego or fear. They taught us to work hard, yes, but not to work blindly, to rest when needed, to pause when wise, to reflect as often as we move forward. Industria is a commitment, not just to effort, but to right effort, to showing up fully, even when no one notices, because wealth, like character, is built quietly, brick by brick, in the shadows of ordinary days. So if you want to manifest wealth the Stoic way, don't wait for inspiration. Don't wish for miracles. Just begin, and then begin again and again. Let others be flashy, you be steady. Let others rush, you build. Let others burn out, you endure. Because while talent may open doors and luck may bring wind, only diligence builds a foundation strong enough to hold the life you're building. Number 3, exercise prudence. In the Stoic framework, few virtues are as essential to success and to sanity as Phronesis, or practical wisdom. While diligence gives you endurance and Prohairesis gives you control, it is prudence that gives you direction. Without it, you could be working hard on the wrong thing, sprinting toward a cliff. Phronesis is the art of making the right decisions, not just the fast ones. It's about stepping back and seeing clearly what is necessary, what is excessive, what serves your long-term values, and what simply feeds your ego or fear. In modern terms, prudence is the bridge between your ambition and your reality. It keeps your goals aligned with your values. It ensures that your pursuit of wealth doesn't cost you your peace, your relationships, or your integrity. The Stoics were not anti-wealth. They were anti-foolishness, to chase money for its own sake, or to define your self-worth by your net worth is a sign not of strength, but of enslavement. As Seneca warned, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. Prudence asks you to pause and reflect. Am I building something sustainable? Am I spending time on things that truly matter? Am I chasing wealth at the cost of my character? It's easy to get caught in trends, to jump from idea to idea, investment to investment, strategy to strategy. But Stoicism teaches us to slow down, to examine not just the opportunity, but the purpose behind the opportunity, to ask not just, can I do this, but should I? This is where prudence becomes your compass. It aligns your daily actions with your highest principles. It turns vague desires into concrete plans, and blind hustle into intelligent progress. Without it, diligence becomes wasted energy. With it, every step becomes intentional. In wealth building, prudence looks like this: saving before spending, thinking long-term when the world screams short-term, saying no to distractions disguised as opportunities, choosing investments that match your values, not just your greed, and most importantly, it's knowing when enough is enough. Because the wise Stoic does not measure success by accumulation, but by alignment. Alignment with virtue, with reason, with their inner peace. Phronesis also guards you against your emotions, especially fear and greed, the two forces that ruin more financial plans than any market crash ever could. When everyone is panicking, the prudent person stays grounded. When everyone is chasing easy money, the prudent person asks, what is real? What is stable? What truly matters? In a chaotic world, prudence is your anchor. And here's the final truth: wealth without wisdom is a burden. It breeds anxiety, isolation, and arrogance. But wealth pursued through prudence becomes a tool, one that serves not just your needs, but the needs of those around you. It becomes a form of freedom, not a new form of slavery. So let the world rush. Let others be loud. You be wise, because the quiet power of prudence will take you further than ambition ever could. Number 4, cultivate gratitude. In our pursuit of wealth, it's easy to become blind to what we already possess. The Stoics called this blindness a kind of poverty, not of money, but of soul. To them, a person could own the world and still be poor if they failed to practice Eucharistia, or gratitude. Gratitude for the Stoics was not a feel-good emotion, or a fleeting thankfulness when things went well. It was a discipline, a deliberate lens through which to view life, especially when life was difficult. It was a way of staying anchored in sufficiency even while striving for more. Epictetus said it clearly: he is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. This is not just philosophy. This is the mindset that transforms your relationship with wealth. Because here's the truth: without gratitude, no amount of money will ever be enough. You'll be stuck on a treadmill of desire, always chasing, never arriving. You'll compare, compete, and consume, but you won't feel fulfilled. And fulfillment, not figures in a bank account, is what we're truly after. Gratitude rewires your perception. It reminds you that wealth is not a distant outcome. It's something you touch every day when you breathe clean air, when you wake up with purpose, when you have the chance to build, to create, to choose. Stoics didn't just accept what they had, they celebrated it. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, wrote nightly in his journal about the people he was thankful for, the lessons of the day, the privilege of being alive even amidst war and duty. If a man with the weight of an empire on his shoulders could find time to give thanks, what excuse do we have? But Eucharistia also trains your mind to be emotionally resilient. When you're grateful, setbacks don't break you, they teach you. Loss doesn't define you, it refines you. Gratitude allows you to see fortune and misfortune as equal teachers. Every failure becomes a source of perspective. Every delay becomes a lesson in patience. Every success becomes a blessing, not a reason for arrogance. In practical terms, cultivating gratitude helps you avoid impulsive purchases by seeing the value in what you already own. Build long-term relationships in business, founded on appreciation and respect. Approach opportunities with humility, not entitlement. Wake up each day with purpose instead of pressure. And perhaps most importantly, it helps you resist the toxic culture of never enough. Because once you learn to be deeply, deliberately thankful for your progress, your body, your mind, your chance to try again, then wealth stops being a void to fill and becomes a reflection of what already fills you. This doesn't mean you stop striving. It means you strive from a place of fullness, not lack, from strength, not scarcity. And that shift changes everything. So if you want to manifest wealth through Stoicism, don't just focus on building more. Start by recognizing what you already have and honor it, not once, not occasionally, but every single day. Number 5, practice acceptance. To end our journey into Stoic wealth, we arrive at perhaps the most mysterious, yet most liberating principle of all, Amor Fati, which means love of fate, not tolerance, not resignation, love. The Stoics believed that the key to peace, clarity, and even prosperity was not to control the world, but to embrace it fully, especially the parts we cannot change. This is not passivity, it's power. It is choosing to see every event, good or bad, as something meaningful, something necessary, something that belongs, not just in the universe, but in your specific life path. And when it comes to manifesting wealth, this mindset changes everything. Because let's be honest, no matter how disciplined you are, how intelligent, how strategic, life will not always go as planned. Markets crash, partners betray, efforts fall short. That startup you believed in might fail. That opportunity you pursued might close its doors. That financial win you were counting on may never come. And this is where most people break. They curse their fate. They spiral into frustration, self-pity, or paralysis. They quit, not because they lacked potential, but because they lacked acceptance. But Stoics don't break. They adapt. They bend like the tree in the storm. They don't just endure fate, they welcome it. Why? Because every external event is an invitation to practice an inner virtue. A failed investment becomes a lesson in detachment. A missed opportunity becomes a chance to strengthen patience. Even loss and suffering become the soil in which character, and later, success, can grow. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is not just poetic, it's practical. When things go wrong, Stoics ask, how can I use this? Not, why me? But, what now? This attitude is crucial in wealth building. Because, the truth is, your greatest financial breakthroughs may come from what once felt like failure. Your deepest wisdom may be forged in disappointment, and your most creative ideas may be born from constraints you never wanted. Amor Fati teaches you to stop resisting reality, to stop wasting energy on what should have been, and instead, channel your full power into what can be, starting from exactly where you are. It also protects you from arrogance. Because when success does come, you see it not as proof of superiority, but as part of the same larger flow, a fate to embrace with humility, just as you embraced hardship. This creates an inner steadiness that no amount of money can buy. In this way, Amor Fati turns your entire life, the wins, the losses, the chaos, the calm, into fuel for your journey. It softens your suffering, sharpens your focus, and frees you from the illusion of control. It tells you you don't have to like everything, but you must accept everything, and in doing so, you will transcend it. So as you walk your path toward wealth, remember, things won't always go your way, but with Amor Fati, you don't need them to, because your power lies not in controlling fate, but in learning to dance with it. Wealth, according to Stoicism, is about more than money. It's about freedom, freedom from fear, impulse, and desire. It's about living well, acting with virtue, and creating a life rich in meaning. And now you have the tools to build that life. Start with Prohairesis, your power to choose. Add Industria, the discipline to work. Guide yourself with Phronesis, the wisdom to make the right decisions. Embrace Eucharistia, gratitude for what you already have. And practice Amor Fati, loving the path no matter where it leads. These Stoic principles are your path to true wealth, not through shortcuts, but through consistent growth and daily decisions. So ask yourself, am I ready to take responsibility for what I can control? Am I prepared to build with wisdom and heart? Am I ready to find wealth in the journey, not just the destination? If you are, then you're already richer than most. Live with virtue, build with wisdom, and prosper with peace. And don't just manifest wealth, manifest the person who can handle it. If this resonated with you, subscribe for more. Stay grounded, stay intentional, and stay stoic.